Hey, my name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today we're going to talk about the four bands that Nirvana refused to be their opening act. This happened in the early 90s, and it was Kurt Cobain himself who said this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comment, and tell me what you think, okay? Well, he told this interesting thing in an interview back in 1991 with Gilbert Blacken. Well, Nirvana was formed in Aberdeen, Washington back in 1987, and obviously they were active until 1994. It was only 7 years, and it was, nothing. It was really fast. It's really a short period of time, and it was obviously tragically cut short because after Kurt Cobain's tragic death. And the interesting thing is obviously that the band started in the late 80s, and they released their debut album Bleach in 1989, which was a praised album, but obviously they exploded to the world in 1991 with Nevermind, which simply changed the course of rock and roll forever. It was maybe the album that really killed heavy metal and hair metal bands and everything, and really changed MTV's future and the future of radio, rock and roll radio and everything. And back then, around that time in 1991, they really were getting bigger and bigger, and many other bigger acts, really already famous rock and roll and heavy metal artists and bands invited Nirvana to be their opening act. And that's what Kurt Cobain recalled in an interview with Gilbert Blacken back in 1991. They had these groups invited them, and one of them was simply Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy back then was promoting. He would release in 1991 the classic album No More Tears, and which was released in the same year as Nevermind. And he invited Nirvana to be his opening act, and the band refused. Cobain explained that all these bands they refused. They preferred to be the headliners in smaller places than to go play arenas and be the opening acts to other musicians. So that's why they said no to these people. And that's what he said. He said he also asked us to go on tour with him, but we turned it down. It would have been fun and kind of exciting to be part of his last shows, because back then Ozzy believed that he was wrongly diagnosed with a disease, and he believed that he would be forced to retire, and so he did the No More Tours tour, which was called No More Tours, and it would be kind of his farewell tour, which ended up not being his farewell tour, right? And that's why Kurt Cobain said that. But he continued, but we don't really want to play in huge arenas supporting someone. So that's why they said no to Ozzy Osbourne. And other great bands that invited Nirvana were Rush. Can you believe that? Can you believe that Nirvana opening for Rush? I mean, Rush is one of my favorite bands. It's an incredible group, but it's quite different from Nirvana. Rush, it's a mix between progressive rock and hard rock, in my opinion. At least most of their albums, it's a mix of hard rock and progressive rock, and it's really weird to imagine Nirvana opening for a Rush audience, which is quite different in my opinion, but that would have been really interesting to see. But they also said no to Rush. And other incredible acts that Nirvana said no at then, the other one was Guns N' Roses. By the late 90s, Guns N' Roses already were one of the greatest bands in the world. I mean, their 1987 debut album, it's groundbreaking, right? Appetite for Destruction is just it's just a masterpiece. It's one of the greatest debut albums of all time. So the band already was, from the start, one of the most incredible acts around, and you know, one of the most promising new bands. And they already were playing to stadiums full of people. I mean, only Appetite for Destruction, how many classic songs you got on that record. So they were really big, and Nirvana also said no to them. And the last one that he mentioned in this interview, that Kurt Cobain mentioned it, was Skid Row. And the interesting thing about Skid Row, which is another great hard rock band, which could be, maybe compared to Guns N' Roses a little bit, not so much, but a little bit. It would be on that same category as Guns N' Roses. But the interesting thing is that Nirvana was originally called Skid Row. Back in 1987, one of the earliest stages of the band, in one of the early stages of the group, they were called Skid Row. Can you believe that? And it's really another curious thing about those about kind of connection between those bands. But they also said no to Skid Row, and Nirvana obviously became this huge act after Nevermind and all the incredible songs on that album. I mean, we can't deny that they really changed the course of rock and roll music forever after that album. It's such a groundbreaking album. And that's it. I hope you liked the video. It's a really interesting story. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave your comment, and please visit Rock and Roll Garage, read the article about this video, and I'll see you later.